Thank you, Captain.
The fuck are you talking about?
No thanks are necessary.
Hey, you're looking kind of funny there. 1 second. Hey, welcome to Videowave. We're the show that, like, you kind of lost, but then found again because, like, I don't know, the internet's weird and, like, digital or analog, who fucking knows? Lots of things get lost all the time. But, yeah. So this episode, Instant Replay Live, Salsa Seth, Ding Dong Do It Win, whoever the fuck that is, and more Bloodthing. Stay tuned. Future hat! No! Oh, time box! I'm here, TC. I'm here.
I'm dying. Oh, I'm dying, buddy.
We saved him. We saved Nick. We saved him.
All as it had to be.
I don't understand. Why did you have to die? I wish you could be on Instant Replay Live with us forever.
Remember, I did once. In my own time. To do it again. Thank you. Thank you, friend.
I don't understand, TC. Who? Who sent you? Who's controlling your mind?
He's dangerous. He's powerful. He knows you foiled his plan.
Who? Who was it that sent you?
It was future Nick. I'll see you on the...
Hey guys, welcome to Instant Replay Live. Today, we're gonna play Mario is Missing. Search for Mario. Hey guys, I'm your host, Joe, and this isn't working. I just can't do this. I can't do this alone.
Ooh, do not go in there. Joe? Joe, we gotta make Let's Plays. Joe! Did you freeze your nipples yet?
Rock climbing is a sport and activity that's culturally but done everywhere, with depictions going as far back as ancient China. Climbing itself has been a mechanic since games like Pitfall and Donkey Kong. It's such a basic act that most living beings on our planet have accomplished it, even plants. Engineers have even developed robots capable of climbing. So it should come as no surprise that in 2015, Ubisoft Reflections would release Grow Home, a game where you play as a robot who rock climbs up an enormous plant and nurtures its growth until it reaches the mesosphere. In Grow Home, you play as a robot named Bud, short for Botanical Utility Droid. It is traveling through the universe alongside the ship navigator AI Mom. They discover a planet with a star plant growing on the surface, and Bud is tasked with nurturing its growth. Bud's control scheme is basic for most 3D platformers, but he's top-heavy and feels loose to control. When he moves his feet forward, he won't immediately commit to the act until his head moves forward in the direction you're going, and it takes him a while to stop depending on how fast you're moving. He's capable of jumping, and if you want to see him really move, jump running is an easy way to see him move at the speed of sound. He would give Mario's long jump a run for its money. A part of me would like to criticize the game for its herky-jerk control scheme, but the game is for the most part designed around it. Save for some optional areas for collectibles, Bud's never required to perform precise platforming, and the focus is not spent on on-foot movement. Bud is capable of climbing sheer cliffs and the undersides of floating islands with his hands, latch onto the surface with shoulder triggers, hold yourself into a direction, release one of the triggers until Bud runs out of reach and hold down the trigger. Rinse and repeat, and eventually you'll arrive at your destination, the very top of the plant. The rock climbing is incredibly satisfying and often got me into a zen-like state while I watched Bud climb a massive stalk. And overall, this game is incredibly relaxing. Nothing about the experience was very stressful, even if Bud was falling from orbit. Bud's goal is to nurture the star plant's growth, which entails climbing onto one of its growths and guiding it to a floating island, radiating energy, where it sucks the energy and causes the whole plant to grow. These serve as a nice break from the slow, methodical tedium of rock climbing into a sudden burst of action, where you have to guide the plant. Sometimes it's a struggle to wrestle control for the camera, but the penalty for missing an island is nothing more than going back to find another sprout, and often they'll be grown on the limb that you've just created. It is somewhat embarrassing to be 6 inches away from the energy, and it's kinda silly that this plant would have given up from getting its resources. I'm sure botanical students can vouch for me when I say most plants will do anything to survive. Vines can grow taller than houses, and trees can bend at acute angles to stay alive. I'm not sure how a plant can get nutrients from solid rock. My dad works on his garden a lot, so I might pick his brain about these life-giving rocks. Besides climbing and growing the star plant, the other forms of gameplay are collecting crystals scattered over the world. Every island will usually have one crystal somewhere, and every 10 crystals gives Bud an upgrade. At first it's a zoom out feature, but then it's a jetpack that gradually gets stronger and lasts longer. The crystals aren't too hard to spot if you have an eye for it, but I have yet to collect all of them. The other collectibles are the flora and fauna of the world. Though Mom has great flavor text for everything, you see it's not something I was committed to completing. I scanned a sheep and I was done with it. The only other gameplay features Bud has are collecting flowers that act as a parachute and a glider. Though he's a sturdy robot, if he falls for too long, he'll reach terminal velocity and smash into a dozen pieces. Plucking flowers allows him to slow his descent and save him from a demise. The flower loses power with each petal that falls, though you can renew your petals by plucking a new one. The flower presents a layer of strategy requiring the player to explore the world for any nearby flowers before you go back to climbing the stalk again, and it creates some tension when the player is off solid ground. I can't say the same for the leaf. I'll get more into how gliding works in Grow Up, but I'll say the gliding is fairly complex and the leaf doesn't land itself well. For one, as soon as you let go, the leaf is gone, rather than retracting like the flower. 2, it's not presented or tutorialized well. Hell, I wasn't aware if it was a thing until my second playthrough. 3, it's just not necessary. Grow Home has extremely vertical level design, and there's no point in gliding from place to place when it's safer and easier to climb or walk or even float. After a short journey to the stars, the star plant blooms and Bud brings a star seed to Mom, who teleports it back to their home planet, and the game ends. Though you're suggested to collect the rest of the star seeds, I think the idea is to go down the way you came and collect them from easy-to-see vantage points, instead of warping to the bottom and collecting them all bottom to the top. Either way, I didn't collect all of them. Grow Home is a more satisfying experience when your objective is to simply climb your way to the top and stimulate its growth. I can appreciate the effort made into putting all the collectibles and giving them some purpose, but the game is too short to ever encourage min-maxing Bud, so to speak. But overall, Grow Home is a fun and relaxing experience, which leaves us with the sequel released a year later in 2016, Grow Up, an act that I've been struggling with for 24 years. The game is set an indeterminate amount of time after Grow Home, and after the latest match of Tic-Tac-Toe, the ship crashes in an asteroid field and pieces of it scatter all over a nearby planet. Thus, it's up to Bud and Pod to find the pieces of the ship and gather them together. Pod is the new character who operates as the game's mission control. His name is short for Planetary Observation Droid. George Lucas would like to know your location. Grow Up is an interesting game in many aspects, and is one of those sequels that changes perspective on its predecessor. While playing Grow Up, I couldn't help but feel that Grow Home was all but a glorified tutorial, or a proof of concept for Grow Up. For one, they really do give you a whole planet to explore, with different biomes and settings to traverse, and I think this game's planet is pretty impressive. Among other things that change my perspective are gameplay changes. Bud is able to find ability pods that grant him different skills. 2 were found in the first game. The first is an air brake that is reminiscent of the flower from Grow Home, but there's not a time limit, and I also don't find it as traversable as the flower. Another thing holding it back is that while the flower added some much needed tension, there's never tension with the air brake. If you're falling, you whip it out, removing all sense of uncertainty. While you might argue whether or not it's a good thing to always being able to recover and keeps the player moving, it can't be argued that removing the flower also removes a need to explore around the world that Grow Home had. The other ability added that I find interesting and potentially exploitative. Now, in the first game, if you wanted to scan something, you would have it to bring it back to a telepod, which was arduous and why I never did it. But now if you want to scan flora, you only have to grab a plant and scan it. You earn some flavor text and the ability to sprout a seed that spawns a whole new plant. To my knowledge, I believe this is limitless, but I never tested it. I never found this to be absolutely necessary, especially for some of the plants that are obstacles, but there were points where I needed to get higher, so I would spawn a mushroom and jump off of it. Some of the plants had some interesting mechanics. I only wish that it were used more and puzzles were constructed around it, or even you had a limited amount of seeds you could plant. Here it's overpowered. The newest movement upgrade is a ball, taking notes from Kirby Canvas Curse. Again, it's not something I use often, but when you receive an upgrade that gives you a spin dash, you could zoom across the map, though I only found this necessary when on the ground. No, but the last ability is the glider, and it's my favorite of the bunch. The glider, if I were to compare the glider to anything, I'd say it's like a modern take on the wing cap from Super Mario 64. From up high, the glider is an amazing traversal tool that allows you to scour the sky for ship parts. If I can give any advice, don't wrestle for control. If you're trying to gain height and you're rocking the control stick up and down and all around, you'll lose altitude. But if you let the glider do what it wants, you'll soon gain great height. I don't know if this is anything like real gliding, and I'm not brave enough to try it myself. If you do ever decide to pick this game up, I highly recommend getting 60 crystals as soon as you can. The upgrade gives a rocket booster to the glider and makes it control so much better. I feel I could rocket to the moon with this. It's expected that sequels add more mechanics to deepen the experience of the first game, and while both games remain simple, there's so many mechanics in place that again, it makes Grow Home feel like a glorified proof of concept than a full-fledged game. Not many sequels I know go that far. The objective, as stated, is to find ship parts across the planet, and while I didn't have a hard time finding most of them, there were a couple that were too obscure for my liking. The only things that's left in Grow Up are the challenges offered throughout the game, and I cannot understate how little I cared for these. I would even argue that the challenges are counterintuitive to the series' design. While I've praised the game for creating tension with the flower, I don't think tension from a race is what this game needs. That and the precision some of these races require to fly through rings. I didn't attempt a lot of these and practically ignored them every chance I got, but they do offer you costumes with different effects. I watched a video where a guy was using a cat costume and the glider had a fishbone on it. It was fucking adorable. So it might be worth it in that regard. I just don't personally care. Grow Up is overall a mechanically richer game with a larger world and more abilities to explore and complete tasks with, and ends up only slightly longer than its predecessor, but that's not a bad thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with a game you can play and beat before work as long as it's satisfying to complete. The only thing Grow Up does worse is model collisions. I ended up clipping through rocks way more than I did in Grow Home, and climbing felt buggier with limbs getting caught on each other. But despite that, I think Grow Up is, like Grow Home, a fun, relaxing experience. If I were a more cynical reviewer, I would point to the gliding and say, Grow Up is the poor man's Breath of the Wild, but I digress. Yet despite all the improvements and additions to the gameplay, Grow Up is less focused than Grow Home. Finding the ship parts is the point of the game, and the means of getting to these parts aren't developed more than what Grow Home already did. In fact, the star plants take a massive step back to the point where you don't have to do all of them to get the ship parts. Grow Home and Grow Up are both games I would recommend checking out and playing. I think Grow Home is a more solid experience with a focus always on growing the star plant, while Grow Up is a more mechanically interesting game with less focus. I think I prefer Grow Home slightly over Grow Up due to its more focused nature. It's not as buggy as the sequel. Either way, you can't go wrong picking either of them up. They're games that climb up from your expectations.
Watching Videowave, only on Hexen.
And now, our feature presentation.
Cheers is filmed before a live studio audience.
Invite us over for a picnic, eh, Luigi? I hope she made lots of spaghetti. Luigi, if you can. Spaghetti! It's from Bowser. Spaghetti! Hey, Princess!
Oh!
Remind me to check. Spaghetti! Hey, you! Get off of my can! It's been those days. Get ready to catch her.
Bazinga!
Ah! Freaking game!
Say there, chum. Looks like you're having a rough time.
This stupid game's cheating.
Huh, it looks like somebody's a little butt hurt. Well, I've got just the product for you. Fast-acting Butt-On will solve all of your problems.
Our patented formula neutralizes the anger glands, allowing happiness mood teens to prosper.
Go on, take it for a spin.
All right.
Butt-On. Apply directly to the butthole.
How much would you pay for more amazing videos like this? Not $99.99. Not $67.32. It's all completely free. Comment now to complete your order. Come on, leave the comment. Do it. Go share it to your friends. Tell some friends they need Bud on. Go on.
Huh?
Oh, god damn it!
My followers, I have started a petition to have journalism classified as a mental illness because it exhibits all the symptoms.
Mr. President,
Don't pretend to know my intentions.
Mr. President!
You can't even fathom the universe of intellect housed within my skull.
Mr. President!
My IQ is so high, I could f*** every one of your daughters. The reason that I abolished all emergency C-sections was satire. I was making fun of anyone who would support that decision, and it was fucking hilarious. Could you imagine the look on those babies' faces? Blah.
But wouldn't you agree that it's not effective satire if the people you're supposedly criticizing support your actions?
Fake! You have fake tits!
I know he tried to murder us and all, but he's kind of funny sometimes. Maybe he's not so bad.
Death to our the Hornheads!
Wait, what did you say?
Alright, I'm ready. Now what exactly happened?
Well, the other day after you left, we were looking for something to do. Me and Puddles were talking, and she really likes that movie thing you've been watching recently. The one about the blood diamonds. She liked it because they had my name in it. So we thought it would be fun to play. So we dug a hole in the thing.
The front lawn?
Yeah, the lawn. She was playing the down on her luck hero, child labor, and I was playing capitalism.
Okay. Come on.
Puddles, it's not even time yet.
Please, I'm not trying to sound... I know fire departments can't be free everywhere, but I specifically told them not to put the house out because we couldn't afford the bill. But they did it anyway.
Well, let me pull up your bill here and see what I can do.
I'm really sorry, buddy, but I'm actually really busy today, so you'll have to walk there yourself.
Because of the water shortage, they put out the fire using Tampa Hama Blast. While we still cannot give you a full refund, I can offer you a discount on our Fire Protection Prime membership, as well as a complimentary stud calendar. Well, if I've answered all your questions today, my name is Shia, and on behalf of the Inkster Fire Rescue, we hope to hear from you again soon.
Hey!
Hey. So, like, your wall?
Oh shit! I forgot you were coming over.
You shouldn't keep postponing it. The tarp's getting pretty nasty. I saw Brainwinders circling it. They're gonna find a way in. Did you get a haircut?
Chunks of it got singed off in the fire, so I had to even it out.
Ah.
Seriously though, I'm so sorry, but I do really have to go into town today. I have a bunch of job interviews lined up.
Ooh, did you get fired?
No, I didn't get fired. It's just all the new pet shit I gotta deal with now. Also, the water bill went up. Which is bullshit because I don't drink water and Bloody only drinks that syrupy crap.
You know why it went up, right? It's because the Simply Liberation Sanitary Napkin Arena is not paying for its water, so the city's foisting the bill on us.
Well, I don't know anything about that, but if I can't get a new job, I'm completely screwed. It shouldn't be too hard, right? I mean, I've had this job forever, and my resume is longer than half the people alive. Right? Right?
Well, that's fine anyway. I have shit to do too. We need to finish removing all the torn up sidewalk, and some kids have been fucking around the abandoned cement
Wait,
mixer.
it would actually be really helpful if you would come along.
Ha! No. Besides, it's not a good look if you bring a friend. They'll think you can't do anything by yourself.
But I can't!
Fine, but you're not going to get results like that. If you're serious about this, you'll have to do something you don't want to. They're not going to hire you unless you're getting their dicks hard.
No lipstick!
Tough it out. If I have to wear lipstick to be taken seriously, you can do it too.